Today, we're going to talk about how you can find high relevance link opportunities with an audience research tool called SparkToro. I see a lot of people showing how to do PR outreach through platforms like Quoted and Featured to find high authority and most of the time high relevance link opportunities. But I don't see a lot of people talking about SparkToro, and there's a hidden workflow within that tool that I think is fantastic. I've been using it a lot lately and having a lot of luck getting other websites to link to my clients. So I wanted to show that to you today. First, let's go over what SparkToro even is. Basically, you come into the tool and you're going to describe your audience. You can do that conversationally, or you can just say people who visit the website, and then you can put your client site. Sometimes you can even put a competitor site as well. But basically what the tool is going to do is show you data about that specific audience. And this is what it looks like on the dashboard. So I've just run it really quick for couples seeking travel tips and destination ideas. So this is data about that audience. And you can see you've got like a demographics overview. You've got social networks that they use. You've got search and AI tools. And you'll even see websites that these people visit. You'll see YouTube channels, podcasts they listen to, some keyword and AI prompt information, and even social media and Reddit info. So it's really cool, great audience research tool. But the semi-hidden feature, one that I don't see a lot of people talking about, I don't hear about a lot of people using it, is this take action feature. All right, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me kind of take you through this tutorial, okay? So number one, within SparkToro, you're going to describe your audience, okay? And you can do that in the ways that I described. You're going to get that awesome dash. You're going to click the take action button. Then the next thing you're going to do is click this public relations and media outreach option, and that's going to be on the left side of the tool. It's going to jump you down to this secondary option called Identify Media Outlets, okay? And that's what you want to click on. Once you click on that, this sort of form is going to come up, all right? And these are the sort of fields that you're going to have to fill out. You're going to have to tell it what kind of content type you're interested in promoting, what's your primary objective, and what's the coverage scope, the business type, the industry, and of course the brand name. Once you fill that sort of form out, then you're going to get the recommendations. And it comes up with about 5 of them. And what's really cool is that these are high relevance. When you're on a tool like Quoted, a lot of the opportunities are high authority, and you kind of have to sift through and find, where the relevance is. This tool is almost the opposite. You're going to have pretty high relevance opportunities. Some of them may be a little bit lower authority, some of them may be a little bit higher. But if you've been in SEO for any length of time, you know that relevance really is the most important thing. Authority is great. I mean, if you can get high scores on both, that's awesome. But you really want to be looking for relevance over authority primarily. Because if you have a high authority opportunity, but the relevance is too low, you're really not getting a ton of benefit from that link. So here are some of the recommendations that came up for an actual client. And these are really good. Real world use case, I actually decided to look into opportunity number 5. If you click the option within SparkToro, it's going to open up a branded search. And then you're going to come and look for the actual website. So we can click on that. Here's where I arrived. And the next thing I advise that you do in this workflow is look for a page with contacts. So I usually go right to the footer for that. And you could go to a contact page. Sometimes that's got it. But I saw this option for editorial team, and that's perfect. So I went ahead and clicked on this. And my tip here is to try to find the contact that is most likely to respond to you. So in other words, if this is a big team and I see someone and they've got a leadership role, and I just don't think it's realistic that they're going to find me within their inbox, that they're going to actually take the time to respond to me, I like to actually aim kind of for the middle because I just tend to get better responses that way. Those folks tend to be more accessible, and that's what I'm looking for. I am trying to maximize my chances of a response. Okay, so that's what I usually do. If it's a really big team, sometimes I will literally just drag and copy, drop it into an LLM of choice like Claude, and I'll ask, who do you think is the most likely to respond to me? And I do give Claude the context of what I'm reaching out about. So that kind of encompasses this step 4 here, find a reliable contact. Okay. Now, the next step obviously is to reach out, and I can't bring you into my email. So what I did was I kind of emulated an actual exchange that I had. So basically, you've got two options with outreach. You can send as the client from an email address that's domain level for them. Okay, so it would be like jim@northbeam.com or whatever the business name is. That's probably going to give you the best chance of getting a response because they think it's an actual subject matter expert. Of course, the other option you have is to reach out on behalf of the client. I do this all the time. It's just easier. I don't have a ton of access to client emails. So I just reach out as, I'm working on behalf of this client, and I've got this great subject matter expert who I think could, be a contributor to your publication or, whatever is involved here. And honestly, I'm just transparent. I'm casual, I'm human, and I get a great response out of that. So it's not quite as good as the client reaching out directly or what appears to be the client reaching out directly, but I'd say it's one level below it, and it's pretty reliable. And I'll show you exactly an email that I sent. So this is how it reads, of course, with the client data protected. So I work with Daniel Reyes, CEO of Northbeam Software, 20-year transportation management software company. So I'm introducing the SME by name right away. In fact, I did that in the subject as well of the email, which I find is really important. Remember, people are getting inundated with AI, so you don't want this to read like that at all. And then in the first sentence, I've brought forward a trust signal. If I can mention specific brands that the client has worked with, I will certainly do that. Let's read the second paragraph. They just rolled out a new TMS with AI features that's trendy and popular. And happy to make Daniel available if you're working on anything TMS, AI in freight, or broker tech related and need a good subject matter expert. He's super knowledgeable, really down to earth, totally fine if it's not a fit, just wanted to put him on your radar. So that's not salesy, it's not pushy. It isn't spammy. It doesn't read like AI because I hand wrote this. But now I have a template and I can reuse it, So that actually did get a response. This is exactly what the response was. Hey, Brian, keep us in the loop with any news coming out of Northbeam. We tend not to interview execs without a news hook for our readers. I wanted to show you a realistic response here because it's not completely glowing. It's not saying like, yes, absolutely, we will put a link on our site tomorrow. But this is more realistic. This point of contact is completely open to a partnership here. He's just letting me know that we need a hook for the readers. And this is actually a great lesson because what I did next, I went right back to the website. I went to the homepage, which has a ton of articles that they write. I copied these titles, I put it into Claude, and I let Claude know, like, I got this response, I'm reaching out on behalf of this SME. Do a careful review of the articles that are written on this site, and let's talk about my client a little bit, and then let's figure out what a hook could be. You're going to use AI, and you're going to collaborate, and you're going to try to come up with a really good follow-up here, because this point of contact is open to the opportunity. You just got to land it. So that's the SparkToro link building workflow from end to end. Give this a try. I'm getting great response rates on high relevance opportunities with it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I'll see you in the next video.